It's a document that we have to embody. We have to take fully to our heart. We need to live by it. We need to utilize it to train our sailors, lead our sailors, support each other, and embody everything that it's about. My favorite line from the Chief's Creed is, "It was our intent to impress upon you that challenge is good, a great and necessary reality which cannot mar you, which in fact strengthens you." This whole process has been super challenging to me. I've definitely learned a lot about myself, and those things that I've learned through those challenges, I feel have made me a better sailor, hopefully a better leader, a better father. It's bettered me all around.
Your entire way of life is now changed. More will be expected of you, and more will be demanded, right? More will be demanded of me. And I really take that to heart, right? I know people have high expectations, but there's a difference between those expectations and what's demanded. You know, they can hope the expectations probably will exceed what's demanded of me. So hopefully I can meet both. When I think of the Chief's Creed, some of the emotions that I feel are pride, but also a sense of, okay, you're now responsible for this. You're the person that people lean on. And the Chief's Creed is a way that we get reminded of that. It's something that we can look back and just remember and get us back to the basics of what it is to be a Chief Petty Officer.
In your future of a Chief Petty Officer, you'll be forced to endure adversity far beyond that imposed upon you today. You must face each challenge and adversity with the same dignity and good grace you demonstrated today. Throughout my career and throughout my fellow select's career, we've all had different avenues of things that we've done, things that we've seen, and stuff like that, right? So adversity, it only gets harder once you become a chief, right? Because now it's not just our sailors we're worried about, it's all sailors. So some adversities that they're going through might also become your problems. You might not know them, but it's our duty as a chief to help them.
Your new responsibilities and privileges do not appear in print. They have no official standing. They cannot be referred to by name, number, nor file. I've had some chiefs that have been able to pull me up by my bootstraps and shake me into where I needed to be. And if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be here right now. You know, they were there. It sort of reminds me what I went through. And during this entire season, thinking back and thinking about the words, and it kind of lets me that I may not get things now, but later on I'll get it, and what it actually means to be a chief.
Says that chiefs train and lead by heritage, right? We're the bearers of heritage because we've been around for a long time. So who trains the junior officers? Who trains the junior enlisted? It's the Chief Petty Officer. In order to be able to train, you've got to know where we come from. The entire season itself stems from heritage. We've been doing chief initiations since World War II, essentially. All of the things that come from that are building upon the history and heritage that we've been conducting for all of that time. But we also talk about historical events. You know, we talked about, we're here in Pearl Harbor, so we got to know about the history and heritage right here in Pearl Harbor. We've got the Missouri Battleship Memorial. The Chief Selects got to go on board and live aboard for a week and got to know about all sorts of different events that went on, including things like visiting the surrender deck. They got to be in the place where essentially the war in the Pacific ended, you know, where Japan said we're not going to be at war with America anymore. What's really important about history and heritage, especially from the Chief's perspective, is when we give training, when we talk to the sailors and the junior officers and try and get them to understand why we do the things we do in the Navy, having that anecdote, having that historical heritage anecdote at the ready makes us more capable of understanding. It brings a more visceral feeling to what it is that we're doing.
Going into a community with 126 years of heritage is definitely scary, but at the same time I'm super excited to join something that's so much bigger than myself, something that I can continue to grow in and continue to hopefully leave a legacy on as well. Being a chief is so much more than being an individual. It's about a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and it's about supporting each other and supporting the mission.
There's so many different physical challenges that we did. Some from carrying ribs over our head, going out in the ocean and swimming, running, climbing up mountains, crawling in the mud. We also did our PRTs, so we had, you know, we're just always in the back of our mind, always improving our physical readiness. If we're going to lead by example, we should look like the example that we're asking to lead by, right? So set the standard. The standard is people need to be physically ready.
Forging is about taking something that's hard, right, already, and chipping away at it and not damaging the integrity of this thing as you're shaping it to become this new thing. Season's very much like boot camp. And you know, we all go to boot, we get through kind of the first half of our career. And for those of us that are fortunate enough to have ever gotten selected, this is kind of like that mid-career boot camp that resets you, gets you focused on something else, and then launches you off in kind of the second half of your career.
The saying, chiefs are forged, because you weren't just born overnight knowing everything or having the skills overnight. You definitely have to work with other people. It's not a one-person show. You have to come together. Everybody's experience is different, so you're going to learn from everybody's experience, and that in turn makes you a better chief.
I was forged. And to actually having the confidence to believe that all the knowledge and literally everything that I went through, I am a chief. I am the chief. And I will be there for them no matter what. And it's realizing your potential. That's what it is. This whole 6 weeks was realizing what you can do when you set your mind to it and you lean on others for help. On that pinning day, you sit there and you feel like a superhero. I know I did. You know, and you realize these anchors are definitely heavy, and with great power comes great responsibility. That's what it is.